This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3646. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, it is a random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories, dog breeds, and Sunday Fun Day. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, a men's room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV Time with Ted. All right, here we go. California woman is suing a novelty company for sending a giant chocolate mandingo. If you think carjacking a marked patrol car with 2 officers inside is stupid, bingo. Florida woman hides in woods and hides her crack pipe and its namesake. Florida mom driving drunk was more than her 9-year-old son could take. The California officers are looking for the guy that jumped that Tesla. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, not every job puts you in a dangerous situation, but sometimes, there's circumstances you just can't predict. Lately, it seems like if you work in fast food, you risk being assaulted over the most trivial of transgressions. But if you work in a restaurant kitchen, there's always the threat of burning yourself or cutting yourself, or was the case for one unlucky guy, getting your hand stuck in the meat grinder. Now, he was taken to the hospital along with the meat grinder still attached to him. Now, he did survive. We don't know about his hand, but it could have been worse. He could be the Canadian landscaper who, he was pulled into and subsequently blasted out of a wood chipper. What makes this even crazier, there was a film crew there filming them at the time that it happened. And it's as bad as you think it is. But then there's the Virginia newspaper reporter. Now, she covers breaking news on the weekends. Well, there was a fatal shooting over the weekend that her editor wanted her to cover. They couldn't get a hold of her because I found out later she was one of the victims. Yeah, so maybe you want a less dangerous job. Good news, researchers at Essex University, they did a study to determine the most boring job in the world. And if you're interested in that kind of thing, if you're in data analysis, congratulations. But don't laugh so far, accountants. You're not far behind. Number 2. Now, these are just some of the stories we've come across. Stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question. And this is how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question. And after you answer the question, we will then share with you the news story that inspired said question.
Be a part of the big show, the random question. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All of it, y'all, listen, away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3646. What a large and in charge program we have for you today.
You think so?
Future repeat, absolutely.
Oh, man, okay.
Exciting return of your guess as good as mine. Categories today, we're going to do a couple things here that Ted likes. Ted loves dogs.
I do like dogs.
Dogs love Ted.
Yeah.
Maybe even more so. So we have the 10 most popular dog breeds here in the United States.
All right.
Yeah. Dog lovers, basically the American Kennel Club. They did the numbers on here. And more than 800,000 purebred, believe it or not, puppies and other pooches joined the nation's registry last year. So basically what they did was they added them all up and found out the most popular dogs in America based on breed alone. So that's one of the categories. And then, Ted, I know you like a good Sunday fun day. So this is an interesting...
I've been known to have a little fun on a Sunday.
Interesting category here. Basically, it is the top 10 cities in the U.S. for what they call Sunday Fun Day.
Sunday Fun Day, yeah.
All right.
And here is basically how they broke this down. All things that Ted likes. The number of brunch restaurants per 100,000 people.
Okay.
So places that have more brunch. That's part of the whole Sunday Fun Day thing. Number of breweries per city and per 100,000 people. The average cost of a cocktail or a beer. Number of music venues and your walkability score. So you can walk around.
That goes a long way.
You can get up in the morning, go get some brunch.
Did you come up with the criteria, Ted? I swear to God, it sounds like if they said, hey, Sunday Fun Day, break it down. Those would be your top picks.
True.
Actually, Castle invited Miles and I out with someone else we know for a potential Sunday Fun Day. Said, hey, so-and-so is going to be in town. Maybe we get together for a Sunday Fun Day. And I don't ever not have a good time with this other person. I just don't know if it's a good idea. And even Mike said, don't, because I don't have a best of for Monday. Mm-hmm. Because we will come in that Monday feeling as bad as we've ever felt.
Yes, that's a fact. So your guess is as good as mine coming up. Also today, let's see, we'll go to the Men's Room Happy Hour, as we do every Monday through Friday at 6 here, exclusively on the Odyssey app. If you do not have the Odyssey app, download that now. It's absolutely free, and search for the Men's Room Happy Hour channel. That goes live at 6. So if you tune in now, there's not going to be anything on the channel. That's exclusively at 6 Monday through Friday when we go live. Mm-hmm. Then it shuts off when we're done. But today we'll do a little props from the weekend. They just seem to fly by. It seemed like it seems like we had 5 minutes. I swear to God, man, that thing went by quick for me.
It did. Saturday seemed like a full day. I don't know what happened on Sunday.
I do. I basically tried to self-repair from Saturday and watch basketball all day because it hurt to move.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Sunday flew by.
Props coming up on the Men's Room Happy Hour. And, of course, keep in mind that's an adult-only segment that we do. It's more men's room, but we don't have to go by the same rules as we do here on the KISW airwaves. So the subject matter at times and our language is a little bit different. So don't listen to this with your kids in your car or your kids anywhere within the area. We'd really appreciate that. So check that out if you can. And today, this day, we do our random question. Question 206-421-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, TJ. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. TJ, welcome to the program. Random question. I'm going to start this one out. I'm going to start this one out for Ted as well. What ailment or physical problem do you or have you dealt with in your lifetime? Maybe it's something that's just reoccurring. Bad bouts of, I don't know, could be anything from hemorrhoids to heartburn to you got an aching knee that, you know.
I had mono once. Could not believe how much that sucked.
Maybe you had to deal with the COVID. Anything any problems you've dealt with or ailments?
I got something that'll make you curl, boys.
Oh, boy.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here I was. Sunday, late Sunday morning, a couple weeks ago, taking a shower. And as we all know, when you got a little tingle go, you let it go while you're in there. What better place to go? I let it rip, washed my hair. I looked down. I got blood all over the floor of my tub.
You peed blood?
I peed blood, sir.
Did you immediately go to the hospital, or what happened next?
Kind of walked around because it's golf day. I have things to do. I got to get ready. About an hour passes. I thought, well, I better just go ahead and take another check. And this time I kind of sat down and watched, and sure enough, it was crimson color. So I said, okay, well, now this getting kind of serious. But I still got to pee. Not a lot was coming out. So then I decided, well, golf time is coming. I got to go pee, and I got to check this out. So I tell you what, by the way, I'm a single guy at my own home. So I decided, that's important, I decided to whip it out in the bathroom sink and let's watch this show unfold.
Right.
So I did. A couple of drops came out of blood, and I'm thinking, there's something there, and then it came.
Was it
2.5, 3-inch long separated blood clots.
God.
No kidding.
I have pictures if you want me to send them.
No. Now did you go to the doctor?
Then I decided tea time's off for Tommy.
Okay.
So I called my sister and said, meet me at the park in the ride, and away we went. And I have to say, Swedish Hospital emergency room, the visions, the beauties are beautiful. Nice. It's a good place to be.
I mean, if you have to go, sure.
If you have to go, this is where you want to be.
All right. And what did they say?
Long story short, looks like I got a growth growing on in the inside of my bladder, boys.
Okay. What kind of growth? Is this a cancerous thing? Is it just fibrous? Yes. It is. So it is cancerous.
The most common cancerous procedure is going slow as far. I just got approval today. They're going to be setting up a schedule. Do you want to hear what they're going to do and what I got to live with?
Sure.
Well, they're going to go inside, and I'm going to be knocked out, and they're going to go inside to the man's tool. And they're going to snip it out, cauterize it, put a bunch of cream on there to kill whatever is happening, and then they're going to pull out, put a catheter in, and we all cross our fingers that there's no extra bleeding, and or infection.
Okay. How you feeling about this?
I don't think about it, but then I do think about it, and the visuals that I saw that day, I will never forget. And I got a word of advice.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand.
All of you. Do you know how bladder cancer is formed?
No.
The main number one cause.
What is it?
Smoking.
Of course it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So does that mean, did you quit then?
Oh, I quit 14 years ago.
Oh, my
really?
God. Okay.
Damn.
There's no point in that.
And he went through the whole routine and I said, well, what's the problem? What causes this? And he goes, well, did you hear about all those carcinogens that are in cigarettes? Yeah. They settle in the bladder.
Okay.
And I thought, my brain was thinking, well, they all went into my lungs, and there you go, life goes on. But no, they're all out, and then they sit in your bladder, and then something happens, and here you are.
I will tell you this, TJ. I've heard, obviously, from the time I picked up cigarettes, Surgeon General's warning is right there. They talk about your lungs, you roll the dice. Nothing has convinced me more to maybe quit smoking than hearing your story, and I'm not kidding.
Well, now, hey, listen, big guy, if you want, I can send you some, educational tools and send you a couple pictures.
No, I don't want
believe it or not, TJ, we can Google that. I'm sure it's out.
No. This is a personalized picture. You can't Google this. This is, I showed my girlfriend, and she calls herself Nurse Lori, and she about hurled.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And she sees a lot.
I would say this, man.
Yeah.
We asked the right person the right question. Yeah.
Also, you guys be careful, be safe, and thanks a lot for all the fun you give.
Hey, man, good luck, brother.
Seriously,
good luck. Let us know how that turns out. Man.
That's a lot.
Oh, man, that is a lot. Sometimes, I understand the doctors have to explain everything, but as he was explaining the procedure, I think sometimes you say, Doc, let me just stop you right there. Do I need to know this, or can you just do what you do and then let me know if it's successful? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I feel like you'd almost be less worried about the surgery. Look, he's going to do what he does. He knows what he's doing. Hopefully it works. But to tell me all those details he just told me, I don't want to know.
Well, Ted, I'll start the question off for you.
All right.
What almost...
Here you are talking about gout and stuff.
I was going to say, I figured we were just going to say something about gout.
Mm-hmm. No. Physical problem do you have to deal with? By century's end, if worst-case models prove accurate, pollen season could start 40 days earlier and last 19 days longer than it does now.
Oof.
For many people, that means 2 extra months of allergies, sneezing, runny nose, hives, and itchy eyes. For people with asthma, it means more shortness of breath, more wheezing, and the need for more medicines and therapies, according to a recent peer-reviewed study published by Nature Communications. Using historical pollen data and predictive climate models, researchers were able to paint a picture of how and when plants and trees could release pollen in the coming decades. And basically what they said was, it used to be the ragweed season was about 21 days. It's continued to get longer and longer and longer as we go on.
Right.
So every year the season gets a little bit longer. So I know you got to struggle with that. So within a couple decades here, it's going to be
That'll be awesome.
about a month longer than it is right now.
Right.
What's your go-to? Is it Flonase or what was the other one?
I used to use Flonase. Now I'm using a Claritin right now. But yeah, I mean, you could tell me my eyes. I mean, it's been a week and a half of just itchy eyes, runny noses.
And I know I've got this for your guess is as good as mine to whip it out today, but you did read the story that if there's one city in the United States of America where you can live, where the pollen will affect you the least, it's Seattle, Washington.
Right. Yeah, I know. Like 1,000 people sent me the article.
You're doing great.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you're living in the right place to live.
But I never had them till I moved here.
Well, wouldn't that be the irony is that whatever the flowering plants are here, you happen to be allergic to, but as far as allergies go in general, it's still the best place to be.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. That's a weird lottery to win. You're not allergic to most things, just everything in the place you live. But turns out the place you live, shortest allergy season.
I don't know, everybody kept sending me that article, and they're like, well, it's actually one of the best places. Like, right, but
do you feel any better?
You could have low gun violence, but if somebody shoots you with a gun, you still got shot in the city with a gun.
Ted, stop whining. It's no encouragement getting shot here.
Does the rain help?
Or does it make it worse?
No, usually it does.
Okay. I was saying, it's I mean, you got that going.
Because my wife gets allergies too, and usually her and Ted, I would say, cycle together on this. And it's funny when especially right now, like a day like this where it's raining, she's starting to sound like an old lady, like, oh no, when the sun comes out, right? Because all these plants, they get juiced up.
Oh yeah,
and they just all over the place. Hey, you know that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, right.
You're allergic to tree sperm.
What's also funny, too, is it's springtime. So, like, stuff's blooming. Everybody's like, it smells so great. I'm like, it smells like pain.
Smells like agony. Hello, Danny. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Danny, welcome to the random question in the men's room. Let's go with this one. Danny, when did your phone do you dirty?
About a week and a half ago. I'm an Uber Eats driver, and I had just put new tires on my car the previous day to the tune of $750. And then I go start working on the following day, which was a Thursday, and about 2 or 3 hours into working, my phone stops charging. And I think, okay, maybe it's just the cord. I go home, I get another cord. Nope, it's the charging socket on the phone. So now I got to go to T-Mobile and buy a new phone that I wasn't planning on buying.
And you're not getting all the calls that you would to make deliveries, correct?
Yeah, and I lost about $100 or whatever in the 2 hours or whatever it took me to 2.5 hours. It took me to buy another phone and all that.
Believe it or not, that's pretty quick turnaround for a phone place.
Yeah, but when your entire job or making money is predicated on those hours, that sucks.
Another side question here: as far as all the things that you deliver, where would you say is a place that when that food gets in your car, it smells so good you want to rip into that bag and eat whatever's in there?
Most of the Indian food restaurants, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Or pizza, So, very fragrant foods like that,
Have you dug into anyone's food before you delivered it?
Nah, I don't do that. I make good enough money. I can buy my own food.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. You drop $750 on tires.
It'd be tough.
I couldn't do that job. Because I'm straight up dishonest about it. Be like, I don't know what happened in 2 weeks. I guess you ordered 10. Like, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. You got salsa on your lips. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
A week or two ago, I went to McDonald's to get everybody some lunch. Just figured why not. So I went down there and came back 6.5 hours later to my car. And it still smelled like French fries.
I bet it did.
Oh, yeah. The smell does not go away. It was in there forever. Reason we asked, when did your phone do you dirty? According to reports, someone at work in downtown Pittsburgh sent someone else a text that said firearm when they apparently stopped checking their phone, so the other person became very concerned and called 911. The police rushed to the scene, believing there could be an active shooter. They evacuated the building, blocked off portions of several streets, and put nearby schools and apartments on lockdown. Police searched the area for 2 hours, but eventually turned out to be a misunderstanding. The person's text message meant to say fire alarm, but it was autocorrected to firearm.
Thanks, autocorrect.
It's unclear what the fire alarm was all about, since that also means some scary message to send without any follow-ups. But either way, they were just worried about the friend. They tried to keep calling him back.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get a hold of him, so then they called the cops.
Maybe they should call it auto change. Because it seems to me correct is maybe 10% of the time.
More of the random question coming up. 206-421-ROCK.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
It is going down. KISW presenting the roast to Steve Miggs. Friday night, April 15th, we will see you at Snoqualmie Casino live on stage. Your favorite KISW personalities, some special guest roasters, including Craig Gass, who's done more than one roast. Yeah. Easily. Yeah, he's a pro. Also, Adam Gerge will join us.
Yes.
And a whole bunch of other celebrity roasters. And, of course, live music from Glenn Cannon and The Damage Done. Those tickets are on sale now at KISW.com. And keep in mind, a part of the ticket proceeds will go to our friends at Smash Seattle. So that'll be a great night. I think there's a little after party involved there, too, with some of the ticket packages. But all those details are at KISW.com. It is our random question. Question 206-421-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Cheyenne. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Cheyenne, welcome to the program and the random question. Let's see what we got here for you, Cheyenne. All right. What would you say is the most boring job that you have ever had? What was the most boring job?
Probably when I worked in the Senate, to be honest. Like, a lot of it was just, like, shredding paper, so much so that they actually named one of the shredders the Cheyenne Long Fox Memorial Shredder. That was bad.
So I was going to ask, if you are not a senator, right, and you're not one of the right-hand people, what does the rest of your job entail?
Shredding, clerical work, greeting people, basically like anything a front desk person would do.
Okay. Is it clerical then as well?
Yes.
All right. And was it a state senate or was it the United States Senate?
It was a United States Senate.
All right. Well, that's cool. How did you like that?
It sounds cool, but then think about it like this, right? So there's what we see on the news, and obviously the news is only going to cover anything of import. But then there's something like C-SPAN, which is the rest of the day, right? And nothing ever looks exciting.
Who was a nice senator? Who would pass you in the hallway and say hello?
I gotta say, Cory Booker was a pretty nice guy.
All right. And who would never even give you the time of day? Who would just walk past you and act like you didn't exist?
I gotta say Ron Paul. He was kind of an ass.
Oh, really? Ron Paul, get out of here. I've never heard anything like that.
Never heard anything like that.
Huh.
Always heard he was warm fuzzy.
Well, you know, people from Kentucky are pretty snooty and stuck up, so that makes pretty
Which is amazing.
Sure is.
You're in Kentucky, for God's sakes.
Reason we asked, what is the most boring job you've ever had? The most boring person in the world has been revealed by University of Essex Research. And it is a religious data entry worker who likes watching TV and lives in a town. The study into the science of boredom has uncovered the jobs, characteristics, and hobbies that are considered a stereotypical snooze. They examined 500 people across 5 experiment. Researchers found that the blandest jobs are seen as data analysis, accounting, cleaning, and banking. They also discovered the dullest hobbies were seen to be religion, watching TV, bird watching, and smoking.
Bird watching.
Boring people are also...
Smoking a hobby?
I don't know that
I think it's an addiction.
I call it an addiction.
Yeah. To me,
if we can lower it to a hobby, then hey, I'm pretty good at a hobby.
I'd probably try different brands of cigarettes.
Right.
This is an addiction. Like if I like IPAs, I'll probably try, a different IPA if I go someplace and see one I haven't tried. You don't do that with cigarettes. You'll walk in and go like, you know what, F it. Give me the Durals.
Right.
I don't know, man. It's just a hobby.
Yeah. Boring people are also perceived to shun large settlements to live in smaller cities and towns. People may, they say, expect to be paid a minimum of about $30 a day to spend time in these job professions, which is not a lot. He launched this guide, the study, to explore the stigma of perceived boredom and how it can impact on perceptions. The irony is studying boredom is actually very interesting and has very many real-life impacts. The paper shows how persuasive perceptions of boredom are and what an impact this can have on people in those professions. Perceptions can change, but people may not take time to speak to those of boring jobs and hobbies, instead choosing to avoid them, not even talk about how your day was.
Because they don't want to know. Because their job's so dull that if they even start telling you about their job, you're like, oh my God, I don't care.
Study also showed that being perceived as boring likely conveys low competence and low interpersonal warmth. Those perceived as boring may thus be at a greater risk of harm, addiction, and mental health issues as well. I would have thought that accountants would be seen as boring, but effective, and the perfect person to do a good job on your tax return. The truth of the matter is people like bankers and accountants are highly capable and have power in society. perhaps we should try not to upset them and stereotype them as boring. So again,
you don't tell them they're boring to their face.
The top 5 most boring jobs: number 1, data analysis; number 2, accounting; number 3, tax and insurance; number 4 is cleaning on the list. And as soon as I can get this paper unstuck, there's one more.
Oh, one more.
All banking. Now, the top 5 most exciting jobs.
Ooh, exciting.
The performing arts.
All right.
Science, journalism, health professional, and teaching. The top 5 most boring hobbies. Number 1 would be sleeping. And I don't consider sleeping
That's not a hobby.
It's not a hobby. People like to nap, but it's not a hobby.
2 is religion, and I don't know anyone who considers
it's not a hobby.
Religion to be their hobby. It's just
our belief system,
exactly.
man.
Whatever your religion is, it's what you enjoy, probably. Number 3, watching TV. Number 4, observing animals. So this goes back to
like bird watching.
I don't know, man. Hey, look.
But see, it's different, right? If you say, I'm a bird watcher, no offense, there's something interesting as you know your stuff. It's never anything I want to do. Subsequently, if you say, I'm a National Geographic photographer, and I was out in Serengeti specifically to photograph birds, even though it's roughly the same thing, you become interesting.
I would definitely go on a safari. I know that would be, depending on, I need to see the vehicle I'm in and everything else.
Hard time.
Observing animals, though, I feel like everybody likes to do that.
Well, have you ever been whale watching out here?
Not on this. I've done it before in Cape Cod.
Okay. So basically, I did not see any whales.
Mm-hmm. Did you still have a good time?
I had a great time. They give you a ticket and they say, look, if we go out and we don't see any whales, your ticket's good for another round. Just come back, use the same ticket, and we'll go back out on the boat. But despite that, it was still a great boat ride. There was still all kinds of things to look at. We just didn't see any whales.
But generally speaking, people that tell me they quote-unquote observe animals, it's not like they're watching squirrels and possum. It's animals that, in and among itself, interesting to watch because it's not something you interact with every day. Mm-hmm. Right? There's some guys up in Alaska, like you're talking about the polar bear story, right?
Oh,
not that I want to interact with polar bears, but if you can watch them from a safe distance, interesting to me. Watching a squirrel at the end of my driveway, looking frantic about what to do with this particular acorn, I don't care.
I have these 2, there's these 2 crows. And every day they are on my power line. That's where they go to. They like the action there. I don't know exactly what's going on, but they perch up there. So I'll go outside in the morning and smoke. And I just go, hey man, what's up, guys? The other day, the one's like cleaning the back of the other crow's neck. He's like meticulously going through and pulling out little feathers and doing all this stuff and kind of like nudging the other crow. And I'm just sitting there watching them and watching the love they give each other.
Do you think they think you're a pervert?
I don't know, but here's what I
do.
That's a good question.
I'm just trying to because crows are pretty smart, right? And they know you live there. And they know, look, he has no ill intent toward us. He's fine, but man, he gives me the creeps. I'm cleaning the back of your head. And he's just staring at me.
But I'm pretty sure that the same 2 crows that have been there since I've lived there. These things, and so I started to wonder, not in that nature perspective, I started to wonder because they really do seem to just, when they pair up, they pair up.
Right.
Are there like crow divorces? Do they come home one day and John says, hey, you know what, man? I can't stand you. I hate flying with you. You take all the good trash.
Right.
You never tidy up the nest. I am moving on. I met another bird named, Paul, and he's a much prettier bird than you are. He's got a much bigger pecker on him, like all the things that you want.
I think maybe, right? Because they're very social. So if you're social, that also means you can have an issue with each other on some personal level for whatever reason. But the thing about crows, if it's a group of 20 of them, those 20 are together because they have their own colloquial language. Mm-hmm. So it's weird because, all right, I know you and Paula broke up, but dude, you realize she's at every crow gathering on the power line. I mean, she lives here.
I know you're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You can't just get away from her. You're stuck with Paula.
Now I'm single, and everybody else is paired up. Mm-hmm. Where am I going to find a date? I mean, what do I do now? I'm single crow. You never see single crow. What does he do?
Maybe he's the one who's out there solo, just keeping an eye on everything, right? The initial squawker to let you know, dude's bringing his dog out, just get on top of the fence.
Dude, I saw a single crow the other day. He was eating a meatball. Look, he was living his life.
Okay. Maybe
now that's a man's man right there.
But the whole meatball's his because he's single.
That's what I'm saying. I walked by and I was like, you get it, crow.
Here's my thing.
Enjoy that meatball.
I don't think that's the case. I think if he's enjoying a full meatball and he's a crow, the wife went away. Like, hey, we got to fly on the other side of I-5. The nest is yours for a couple hours. And my man's like, I am dumpster diving for meatballs because when Sheila's here, Sheila gets up in my ass every time I get meat.
Today was trash day, so the 2 crows are going through the trash as they do. They know how to pick out the lid. They're very intelligent. Then another crow comes in.
And those two crows, this is their territory. They do not mess around. They chase that damn thing, down the block.
You cannot go into their space.
And I watched them do this. They're dive bombing this bad boy, right? And then they just spun around, came right back down, and kept eating their trash meal.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing happened.
Someone here says, there's like 5 raccoons behind my house. I smoke weed. I feed them crackers or ham. I watch them clap their weird little hands. It's dope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you see animals, it does stomp you. Unless it's somebody's even a dog walking down the street. You check out the dog.
Sure.
More so than you check out the owner.
Right.
So I think watching animals, you drive by cows and someone goes, cows, or they moo, or you just can't ignore it.
That one's not exciting, but you still will watch them.
Anything. Mm-hmm. Oh, God, yeah. You see something on the side of the road, you're like, oh, look at that. That's pretty cool.
What is the dullest animal? Like if they said, you got to spend 2 hours observing this animal. What is the last one on your list?
As far as not exciting, probably a snake. They just don't do anything.
Yeah, if it's not actively hunting or
if
eating,
you're not afraid of them,
it's just a thing.
It's just sitting there.
It's just sitting there.
Yeah. It's like, because even frogs are more exciting than that.
Well, because they'll stare you down for a bit. They'll jump around. You see them grab stuff with their tongue. Like, all right, man, there's some action. There's a little something.
Yeah. There's a lot of birds, so there's just so many of them. Just think, it's not very exciting.
I realize that the goddamn pigeons downtown, you're so fascinated with what it is they have discovered they're going to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So every time we go out to smoke, it's like there's 3 or 4 of them, and they're kneeling around. I'm like, he wants those coffee grounds. That one wants a cigarette butt. There's a crow that basically owns the corner when you walk up the stairs. You come down to come in. There's a crow that owns that little grass patch that's part of the building. You don't mess with him. Birds do not mess with his turf. He's I like him. He likes us. He knows us. But
it was a seagull fight last week.
Oh, man.
Excellent.
We were out front.
Oh,
they were up on top of the building in front of us. Their beaks were interlocked. Their wings were out, they're trying to look big.
This was like a full-on seagull brawl.
They were going at it. They were screaming at each other. They were I wondered, is that mating or is that them not enjoying each other's company?
I don't know, because animals have a weird way of courting each other. You know what I mean? Like, you see a lion with a female lion. You're like, oh, my God, he's going to kill her. Like, no, it's not exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, I've never seen 2 birds fight like that. As far as just the intensity of it and the fact that they interlocked their beaks. At one point, we thought that one beak had gotten stuck in the other seagull's mouth because they were
random.
Hello, Matt. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Matt, welcome to the program.
How you doing, gentlemen?
We're doing great, man. How are you, brother?
All right.
Okay, Matt, let's go with this one. As we know, teachers are there to educate the youth of America. But teachers are human and no different than anybody else.
That is correct.
Sometimes, teachers do some stuff. So did you ever have a teacher in any of the schools? Maybe it was your teacher. Maybe it was just a teacher that worked in the school get into trouble for anything when you were growing up?
There was a teacher that got in trouble for buying drugs from one of my friends.
All right.
What drugs was your friend slinging?
Well, back in the day, we just called it ecstasy, not Molly. So.
Okay, all right. Now, based on that, so did you know that this teacher was buying Molly before the teacher got busted for buying it?
Oh yeah.
And did this teacher seem cooler than any of the other teachers? Were there any telltale signs that this teacher might party outside of school?
No, not really. He was kind of quiet, and no one else knew except me and maybe, obviously my buddy, but like 2 other students knew that were in our circle.
Did you guys get good grades?
How did they get busted?
Well, the teacher apparently came to school high one day. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Okay. Yeah. We had a teacher that I didn't really understand maybe the smell of vodka because I was 12, 13 years old.
You don't know.
I'm not sure. It's just the way he always smelled.
But did he get in trouble, or did he? Because I had a couple
he was our shop teacher, but
Jesus,
I don't think so.
That's what I mean.
I don't think so.
Looking back, it's like you said the first time you smelled weed. Not the first time you smelled weed. The first time you realized weed is what you were smelling, and you go, "Oh, this explains a lot." Maybe from the parents' garage, but same thing in elementary school. It was definitely dudes more than females, but their breath always reeked of booze. I did not realize that they reeked of booze, and then you get older, and you're like, I don't think they were sober a day that they taught us.
Mm-hmm. Reese asked, what did you or a teacher at your school do? A Manhattan Spanish teacher was yanked from the classroom after investigators found she sucked on a man's nipple during a Zoom class.
Damn, man.
Well, she ended up returning to the same school this month, stunning students who had witnessed the display. It's weird. It's wrong. A junior said it was so embarrassing for her to come back. Well, the DOA, they removed the teacher, Amanda Fletcher, from Columbia Secondary School for Math, Science, and Engineering amid the COVID-19 shutdown in October after investigators found she had engaged in an inappropriate sex act while remotely instructing her class.
So she's sucking on a dude's nipple while teaching the class.
During the session and lesson, Professor Fletcher, as students called her, sat at a kitchen table eating spaghetti with a shirtless man standing behind her.
Yeah, baby.
She appeared to turn around and suckle on the man's nipple while rocking back and forth, then returning to the spaghetti, then returning to the camera, smiling and wiggling her shoulders, according to the Special Commissioner of Investigation for City Schools. "Oh my God, are you seeing what I'm seeing?" a student in the class asked a friend. She was eating pasta full on. Then a half-naked guy comes on. Then she starts sucking on his nipple. After taking her mouth off the man's chest, she did a little shimmy, according to the student. She wasn't hiding it. It was a look at me. One student actually recorded the scene and shared the video with other kids. Fletcher caused another buzz when she unexpectedly showed up at the school 17 months later. And on Wednesday, a day after people were asked about her return, the DOA sent Fletcher to a district office where she was reassigned. But she did not lose her job, apparently. And she was not
spaghetti. Damn. All right. I like her.
With a naked man behind her and turning around and sucking on his nipple.
Okay, that's a different one. I don't know why the spaghetti to me that's the real monkey wrench and all that. Like, wait, you were eating spaghetti. I'm eating spaghetti, and then I'm going to go chow down on your nipple, but return back to work. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Eating spaghetti's fine, though. It's just licking the nipple that's weird.
I just feel like they should be separated.
They should.
Neither one should be done, at least if you're on a Zoom call teaching a class. That's just me. Call me old school.
But the guy had nice nipples.
I guess he did. Somebody here says, my 8th grade science teacher got arrested. Inappropriate relations with a fellow student. Back in the 80s, a guy got in trouble for having alcohol in his desk. He was our driver's ed teacher.
Oh.
My gym teacher was drunk every single day for 4 years. Now, one of my favorites, in high school, our shop teacher knocked up a student. That'll do it.
Yeah.
Damn.
God damn.
I don't remember teachers, but I definitely remember when I was young at our school, one of the moms hooked up with one of the priests.
Oh.
So then the other mom, but I think he hooked up with a couple of them because we came out of school one day and she had like written in lipstick, like I know you're banging Father whoever. It was
That
drama.
huge.
Oh, drama.
Yeah.
I like this one. I had a teacher who was my wrestling coach. He'd drive me home after practice, opened his glove box to find a mirror and a bottle of Jack, which is weird. I don't ever remember being a wrestling coach, but I guess I did.
A mirror and a bottle
of Jack.
You know, there's a damn mirror in my car that's positioned right in between the seats that you can pick up and pull out, and it looks exactly like a mini Coke mirror. I mean,
because that's what it is.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, those.
Because that's what why else? You got all the mirrors in the place you need, right, for driving safety. Why would you include a mirror? You said it's between the two front seats?
I guess for putting on makeup or something.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
No, I
feel like people that put on makeup in the car have a mirror on them, or they just use the rearview mirror, and certainly you hope they're not doing it while they're driving, right?
I'm just Googling my car and then Coke mirror. Oh, no. Because I'm telling you right now, it's right here. See, look. It's a Coke mirror. It is right.
Oh, my God.
So it fits flat with the mirror down, but you pop it up, it's a Coke mirror.
Hell yeah, it's a Coke mirror. What kind of car you got?
Look. It's Coke mirror.
You got a Lexus, right?
Yeah.
All right.
It's Coke mirror.
They know their
that
audience.
makes sense, doesn't it? Yes, no, every time I see someone driving my
we're
car,
Lexus.
it's
We
an
know you.
older Asian woman.
Mm-hmm. You know what? She's snorting Coke.
You know, you just see the people who are also driving your car just to see, what club you're in. It's always an older Asian woman. Every single time.
Who also likes cocaine.
More of the random question coming up, 206-421.